How is everyone doing tonight? Doing good? Fantastic. We are going to look into the differences between THCA and THC today because we all know there's at least one layer. All right, what's the chemical difference? What makes one THC? What makes one THCA? We're going to go over that for people who do not know. We're going to read a couple definitions, maybe read an article, and then we also want to look into the legal aspect when it comes to THCA and THC because of something I'm going to be talking about later. We're going to be looking into the difference because there's legal differences and loopholes that people are using to get around to do certain things in the market. So I'm going to pull up my stream so I can read the beautiful chat, and then we're going to pull up an article or definition and just get right into the stream. Here we go. Scroll down to the chat. Fantastic. Looking beautiful. All right. Let's just say THCA. Tetrahydrocannabinolic acid is the entire word there. What is THC and what are the benefits of this cannabinoid? Let's check it out, man. So as far as I understand, THC basically is just the unaltered version of THC that has not been combusted, that has not been decarbed yet. It's not psychoactive if you eat it because it hasn't been decarbed first, therefore it hasn't changed to THC. This article says, by the way, we're on Leafly, and it is... What is THC and what are the benefits of this cannabinoid? So that's what we're going to get into tonight. We know you are nearly finished mastering the nonsense of star cannabinoids, THC and CBD, and how they impact your high. You know they synergize with each other. Cannabis-derived compounds called terpenes, and maybe you have looked into much disputed entourage effect, which I don't understand how it's disputed. It seems pretty cut and dry when it comes to the science of it. Terpenes and THC working together to give you the medical benefits and the psychoactive effects that you're looking for in a plant. I don't hear a lot of dispute when it comes to that. Endocannabinoid system, no problem. But we're going to throw in a wrench with another compound, THCA. Cannabis plants produce over 100 different cannabinoids, all of which contribute to how smoking, vaping, edible, or topical experiences will affect you. While you may not realize it, THCA is a part of the plant, and it is time you learn more about it. Well, let's dig into it. And that's another thing too. When I do these streams, I don't just want to teach the audience something. I also want to learn new information with you guys in the chat and also have a discussion about what we're talking about. I think it's a lot more constructive than studying on my own, which I do a lot of. I have a lot of Audible books on my phone, and I suggest everyone get an Audible subscription. Even if you just collect books about growing cannabis and learning about cannabis, I think it could be extremely constructive to your personal life as well as your garden, and just making you more intelligent, maybe increasing your vocabulary, maybe changing the way you talk to people in a constructive way, are all things that have helped from Audible. So click plug to Audible. If you guys want to sponsor me, any reps out there, definitely, I'm definitely down. I love you guys. What is THCA? THCA is the acidic form of THC, full name tetrahydrocannabinolic acid. As a cannabis plant matures, its buds grow, its terpenes and cannabinoid content begin to develop. The first cannabinoid the plant will develop is CBGA, also called the mother of all cannabinoids, because because it will eventually break down and produce primarily cannabinoids like THC and CBDA. THC-A is not intoxicating if ingested chemically. It has an additional molecular carboxyl ring, which prevents it from binding to receptors in the brain responsible to feeling high. So it has an additional molecular carboxyl ring, which is destroyed when it is heated up. It sort of melts off, and then it can bind with your endocannabinoid system, hit those receptors, and make you feel high. That is very interesting. I've never heard that before. You may be thinking, what's the point if it doesn't get me stoned? But without THCA, we wouldn't have THC or the other numerous health benefits attributed to it. When THCA is exposed to heat, such as when smoking, vaping, dabbing, or cooking, it will convert into the intoxicating beloved cannabinoid THC. THC versus THCA. The biggest difference between THCA and THC is that THCA does not produce the intoxicating effects that THC does. However, THCA must be heated to create THC through smoking, vaping, dabbing, or cooking, or for edibles. This conversion alters the molecular structure of the THC by removing the carboxyl ring. This also helps THC bind to CB1 receptors in our bodies, which is very cool. Effects-wise, THCA and THC overlap in some areas. Both have potential to treat nausea. So if you want to get unnauseous without getting high, just eat some THC, take some bud right off that plant and just eat it. But THCA shows a far more promise for addressing inflammation. On the flip side, because THCA isn't intoxicating, some may find it less effective for sleep than activated THC. And while THC isn't recommended for seizure disorders, THCA may show some promise in addressing those conditions. And actually, I don't know how effective THC really is for sleep. Obviously, it can be super effective, but I feel like it's more of an entourage effect there, because if you're smoking something that is super high in THC but super low in the terpenes, I've noticed I get a lot more paranoid and anxiety spiking when smoking those kinds of things like dabs or taking highly concentrated edibles. Sage, you're sitting on one of my cords. Can you move, please? Sage? Sage. Whoa! Going for a ride there, buddy. Good lord. Alright, so yeah, if there's a high THC, one of the effects is paranoia, and I'm very prone to having like super high anxiety a lot of the time and just normally worrying too much, and then bringing THC into that equation kind of puts that on steroids, but that effect while experiencing it, just going to rotate you a little bit, while experiencing it, I know that dealing with that is going to make it a lot easier when I'm sober, dealing with my normal amount of anxiety, and that's kind of how I rationalize it. It's very therapeutic in a way. Whew. And while THC isn't recommended for seizures disorders, THCA may show some promise in addressing those conditions. Whew. So they do have different effects, as well as not doing, intoxication, You also have a lot of other different effects that are very flip side to THC. THC-A may show promise in addressing those conditions. Is a higher is a higher level of THC or THC or A better. All states with medical or recreational cannabis programs require cannabis brands to and operators to test products at a third party lab to ensure their compliance and safety before they can be sold to the public. THCA and THC levels will help you determine how potent a product is and what kind of experience you are in for. While it may seem like you want a THC number, applying heat to THC directly may burn away some of the cannabinoid content and leave you wanting more. While it may seem like you want a high THC number, applying heat to THC directly may burn away some of the cannabinoid content, leave you wanting more. So you would be missing out on some stuff basically if you decarbed. Yeesh. Okay, I found it. I kind of lost our space there. So basically, they can't decarb it and test the THC level. They have to test the THC-A level, and I feel like that's how a lot of people are getting around selling THC-A products because, from my understanding, there's not really any legal language around THC-A because I feel like a lot of the people making the laws and who are in charge are very ignorant of the cannabinoid aspect of the drug, and that makes it a lot more difficult to put the kind of regulations on it because of the possibility of so many factors causing so many gray areas, and I feel like that's why it's important to talk about. Now, this isn't to say that I want THC-A to be treated like THC in the modern day. I would rather THC be treated like THC-A because they're essentially the same thing. It's just one is heated up and one is not. That's the only difference. But by this logic, it should be very legal to sell bud because it doesn't have any actual THC in it. Unless you're looking for edibles, you want a high THC-A number, not necessarily THC. That's why THC-A represents the full potency potential of what you are about to smoke, dab, vape, because it will convert to THC. If you're looking for flower, vape cartridges, or concentrates, you want to check the THC-A number. These are all products that require decarboxylation, aka activation by heat. What's up, Nimbus? Happy to see you in the chat, man. I'm loving the shit you're sending me on Instagram, by the way. That's really fucking cool. Loving how the plants look. I hope they are smelling great, and I hope everything is going good in your garden, man. Right now, we're looking at getting tents. And I'm super excited to get the tents because that's when I'm going to start my breeding projects. I'm going to pheno hunt a couple of phenos, and I need to brush up on how to pheno hunt for male plants. So if you have any tips for that, please leave them in the chat. That is one thing I need to look into because I don't really understand, other than like high pollen sac production could possibly translate into bud production, is what I was trying to get at there. But where were we here? Vape cartridges are concentrates. You want to check for the THC number. These are all products that require the activation. That's awesome for real, brother. Glad to hear you're getting some upgrades. Hell yeah, man. We're getting upgrades, not only just for the growing project, but also upgrades are going to be coming to the channel soon. I'm thinking about some different kinds of content I want to do, and I'm thinking about a lot of different ways I can film, and I'm really excited to see what I come up with when I hit my next evolution of content creation. How's it going, Lost Jeans? So, in case you guys don't know, I've been talking about it a little bit. If you guys want to touch on my breeding project, I have one more thing I need to order other than the growing equipment, and then I will have like my full set that I need to do this actual breeding project with. And I think it's going to take at least 2 years before I come up with something that is stable enough for me to give it to my friends, and then I think it's going to take at least 3 years or 4 years to get it stable enough to where I want to think about selling it to the public and actually making a drop. But I'm really excited about the strain idea, and if it turns out anything like I think it's going to be so awesome. I'm really geeked about it, in case you can't tell. Is THC-A the same as Delta 8 or Delta 9? So now we're getting into the Deltas, which is a whole new layer. And hey, if you guys are enjoying the stream, enjoying the conversation, you like learning the difference about these chemicals, you like anything about what you're doing right now, please leave a like. It really helps support the channel and get my content to more people. It's going well. Breeding is always fun. I look forward to the content. I also look forward to the content. I'm really excited to make new stuff and experiment with a little bit more editing and more filming angles and documentation. What kind of stuff have you bred? What kind of genetics and traits do you look for, Lost Genes? And how much experience have you had breeding? I want to hear about it. THC-A is the acidic form of Delta 9 THC, the most prominent intoxicating compound in cannabis. Delta 8 THC has the same number of atoms as Delta 9, but their arrangements differ. This whole fucking Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10 shit makes me upset. And the arrangement impacts its effects. This is how companies have been able to legally produce Delta 8 products from hemp plants, which by law must contain less than 0.3% Delta 9 THC. So in case you guys don't know, Delta 9 basically is the Delta that we look for in our cannabis. And we'll look for this, and we've bred to have a higher number because it makes us higher. Now, Delta 9, Delta 8 is a weaker form of Delta 9. And then Delta 10, I believe, is the weakest one. I could be getting that mixed up, but neither of them are as strong as Delta 9. I used to sell Delta 8. That shit is literally the closest thing to Marlboro. Wow. I can't even. Getting to the cannabis industry straight shady. Yeah, it's rough when companies do that kind of stuff. The baby's crying, though. I'll be right back. That shit's always fucking creepy. Does anyone have kids out there, man? Anyone have kids and you swear to God you hear them crying and then you go to check on them and they're perfectly silent? I can tell you don't smoke cigarettes. That's good. Yeah, no, I don't. I've smoked. So here's my smoking cigarette story. I was at my friend's house and I was feeling impulsive. I was probably 17 or 18 at the time, I can't fucking remember, but I took one hit off of his cigarette, and he smoked very regularly. He smoked multiple cigarettes a day. I took one hit off of it, and I was like, fuck that. That shit sucks. But I have smoked vapes on multiple occasions, probably 3 that I can think of. Nicotine high just isn't it. It feels very similar but worse, if that makes sense. For anyone who's never had one, nicotine sucks. I'm good. Delta 8 is also derived from THC-A, called Delta 8 tetra. Wow. Tetrahydrocannabinolic acid, but little research exists to understand how it measures up against THC-A. Additionally, both Delta 8 and Delta 9 THC have some degree of intoxicating effect when consumed. They are not acidic. They are not in acidic form as the THC-A is. What are THC-A's effects and benefits? Raw cannabis does not produce a high if consumed without decarbing first. However, consuming raw cannabinoids for its THC-A content through juicing, for example, or taking a THC-A-based tincture or edible provides some of the same benefits as activated THC without intoxication. So if you want the positive effects that are going to help you without getting intoxicated, so you're going to go somewhere important where you need to be able to speak fluently and make rational decisions, maybe hit up that THC-A tincture and have a good time. I believe not only is it important to experiment with different phenotypes of different categories of plants that you normally wouldn't have in your garden, but it's also important to take advantage of everything the plant has to offer, every single cannabinoid. If you have to breed your own, you can try to breed for higher things that you're more fond of by finding a base plant out in the market that has something high and breeding it with something you like to turn it into a brand new product that is perfect for you, and creating more of an opportunity for yourself to be a better person. It's Rick Simpson oil more THC-A dominant, or is it decarbed? I could not tell you that, but as far as I know, yes, but I can't say for sure. But I know Rick Simpson oil is. I'm pretty sure I've heard that Rick Simpson oil is notorious for getting high, but I don't know why I'm speculating when I have Microsoft Bing to the rescue. To address this directly, RSO undergoes a decarboxylation process during production to ensure this ensures the conversion of THC-A in its raw form to the more active THC, rendering it practical for many medical and recreational endeavors. So yes, Rick Simpson oil, to answer your question, Nimbus, is decarbed and highly potent because it is a concentrate. I'm on my first project, Mimosa, crossed with Cheetah Piss. I took for a unique terp profile, which is really funny because I actually mentioned Cheetah Piss like 2 streams ago or something. So it's funny that you bring it up. Also, Mimosa sounds really good. I feel like the entourage effect from the terp profile is important and makes strains stand out. Frost is a plus too. That is for sure. Used for much stronger back in 2014. At least for me personally, 1 gram of cat piss would stink up the whole car up just in your pocket. I've had a lot of strains like that in Nimbus. There are so many, especially once you start growing your own and you start being able to optimize terpene percentage and frost production. with the many different ways there are to now, oh boy, can you make some great stinky stuff. And not all of it smells like weed for sure, and not all of it like stinks. But it will smell potent for sure. There isn't enough data to indicate THC-A doesn't provide users with pain relief in the same way THC does, through it still interacts with our receptors in more per wow per preferable way. Yeah, preferable. Damn. Studies have shown that it is also potent neuroprotective qualities that will aid in slowing and preventing neurodegenerative diseases like Huntington's disease. It can also help with treating conditions like colitis and IBS. Wow. Hope you all have a good time. Gotta sign off. Hey, Lost Genes, it was good having you here. I appreciate the chats and I appreciate you spending your time here. Before you go, though, if you could leave a like, maybe share this stream around somewhere, I would greatly appreciate that. But I do hope you have a good night, man. And also, I hope your cross of mimosa and cheetah piss turns out well and you can get what you want out of it. Findings suggest that THC-A may help with seizure disorders. So, there's a little bit about THC-A. I kind of want to jump into the laws real quick. Laws around THC-A. I just popped an ethos seed here recently. What genetic is it, man? What strain? Or is it actually just an ethos plant by ethos? Because that would be pretty cool. I just got, if you guys aren't following me on social media, I just got Chill Out OG seeds by Mr. Grow It. He sent me some after being on the show and doing the recording. He offered to send me seeds. They came in the mail. They look fantastic. He also sent me a couple stickers. So if you want to check out the pictures and stuff, go check out my my Twitter at Cannabis Express 420. I have my old profile on my Twitter, and just go follow. I post a lot of cool shit. It's from the Lilac Diesel set they did. It's Lilac Diesel number 22 crossed with Grandpa's Cookies number 7. Damn. That sounds dope. There's so many fucking pop-up ads. Okay, so I pulled up state by state, and we're just going to go to a couple different states and see what we're doing. But I'm going to start at Michigan. Was it even there? Did they not list all the states? Wait a second. Oh, there it is. It says legal, recently legalized recreational cannabis. Cannabis users can now enjoy THC-A products freely, which, yes. Let's go to a state where it's illegal. No, that's tight. Hype for the CE 420 Chill Out OG. Dude, I'm so fucking excited to grow that shit. Are you doing that one in cocoa as well? So I don't actually grow in cocoa. I do grow in peat moss. And I will probably be growing it in peat moss. New Hampshire legal THC-A is legal if hemp derived and less than 0.3% THC in New Hampshire, which doesn't exactly answer my question. New Jersey legal, no restrictions on THC-A products, and hemp are legal. So does that mean I could sell just bud if I sell it as THC-A? I don't know how to interpret that. Recently, Ohio recently legalized for recreational, but not medical use. What the fuck? Usually medical is the first one to be legalized, but okay. I mean, even Michigan had the legal market, like the legal medical market, where you could be a caregiver since like 2014 or something. Like they've had it a long time, 14, 15 maybe. But Ohio, not medical use. Adults of 21 and older can buy and possess up to 2.5 ounces of cannabis and grow plants at home. Which, how many do you guys think they can grow at home? Because I don't know off the top of my head. I'm gonna guess they give them six. Okay, so it says the plant limit is six per individual, 12 per household at this point, and this is Ohioans are now legally allowed to do. So they can have six per individual up to 12. So pretty much. Oh, I forgot you're working in peat moss. It was crazy to me how small the pots you guys can use with synthetic newts. I want to do cocoa coir. Uh, is it coir or is it core? How do you? I don't know. I say coir. Run with down to earth newts here soon. I wish you luck, my man. And the reason I can use such small pots, I'm using 5 gallon pots for the plants I'm growing. So you guys who saw the flower update, I've been in a build a soil so far. This time I did the extra shit like cover crop and peach ferment, the whole schedule almost. That's pretty cool, man. How'd the plants turn out in that? But the reason I can use 5 gallon pots is because I went right from a 1 gallon all the way to a five, and then like 2 weeks after that stream, I flipped them to flower. I got them their transplant stress all taken care of. I got healthy new growth, made sure that they were going at a good rate and were liking the light level and all that stuff, which I raised up to get a bigger footprint and made it more intense. It's probably, I can't see the dial side because I set it up like an idiot, but I think it's around 80% based on how far it is. So it's probably in between 70 and 80%. That SF2000, and it's actually shining on all of them right now, and it's very bright in there. And I'm trying to give them a lot of light to try to really maximize that growth. And if it is too much for them, if those leaves start to droop a little bit, I will turn it down a little bit. But we'll see how it all goes. So I was pretty much right on six. Familiarize yourself with the law. Secondly, recognize that it is very easy to grow. It is very easy to grow cannabis. It is very difficult to grow high quality cannabis, and just that you're growing in the safest and most legal way possible. The Ohio Revised Code states that the grower has to prevent access to the plants by anyone younger than 21 years old. You also have to be able to restrict public from easily reaching it. Dude, those Build-A-Soil amendments are no joke. My number one pheno had a pretty gnarly deficiency, like week one of flower, and then and that Build-A-Bloom stuff straight cured it instantly. I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm glad to hear they're putting out good product and it's working for you to grow great medication. It's always great to hear. I think after I do my first or second cross and get F1s or 2s of the cross I'm thinking about doing, I might look into doing Build-A-Soil. I might look into it earlier, just to do pheno hunts and also test out their product. But I do plan on going with them soon. I think they're doing some great stuff over there, and I saw their episode on the Garden Talk podcast. Super great. I also watched his channel, and I love what he's doing and his whole mission he's got going over there. So cheers to that, dude. But I'm too high to take a rip right now, and all my stuff is in the kitchen. So you can only grow in a secure closet, room, greenhouse, or other enclosed area in or around the area in which you live. And these quotes are all from Fox. I'm on Fox for some reason. But it's good to see they're getting some W's. It looks like it's legal in pretty much every single state. So basically, if you need THC-A, just grow some hemp, don't decarb it, and it's technically legal in every state. Be like, no, officer, this has THC-A in it. There's no THC here. I don't have any of that. I don't do the marijuana. What are you talking about, sir? You fucking accuser. You should read into back crossing as well. That's how you get stability in your genetics, from what I understand. Yeah, that's also what I understand, and I need to learn a little bit more about back crossing and understanding how. I need to understand exactly how to map it out in a real world scenario and have a very good detailed plan, not only in my head visualized, but also written down. I want to get as stable as I possibly can. I want to try to get it down to like 10 different expressions that you're going to get out of this for optimal stability. And maybe I'll get it even more narrow than that. Maybe I'll go with 5 very specific expressions of this plant, just for the fact that I can predictably say that it is going to be one of 5 things. I think that it is lost on a lot of people when they get to a certain point that they need to put as much effort into something they're putting out as possible. And you can talk about those kinds of things, and people will get excited for it if you're putting out something good. Like Elden Ring, for example, or any of the Dark Souls games. I don't think it matters how much Miyazaki talked about them, because people were still going to be excited just because the games are that fucking good. And if you can put out a product like that, and Mr. Beast talks about this in his videos a lot, where he's like, I know it's going to make more money than what I put into it because I understand how everything works. And I think that's what a lot of people are missing. It's like recirculating the same genetics back through the rounds so you get that narrow pheno window. Yeah, precisely. I'm going to have to find something I like, which could take a couple packs, but 10 is a good place to start. If I can find an expression I really like and I want to target that, I need to clone on clone on clone. Basically have all of my slots filled up all of the time, or become a caregiver and then be able to open myself up to more possibilities. I'm not sure what route I'm going to be able to take, but I think I'm going to have to be constricted 12, which is going to make this very difficult. But hopefully by the end of it, I have a lot of cool stuff, and a lot of my friends are supplied for years to come with some of the highest quality product that anyone on planet Earth can make. That's what it's about, man. That's what RBX means. Like if a strain is skunk RBX, it's just backcross skunk. Interesting. Uh, so I'm gonna have to look on that because a lot of stuff on Ethos is titled RBX, but I don't see a lot of that anywhere else. Totally, some of these breeders kill it. You always have to stay humble. There are those people with real landrace seed banks popping up new phenos for cultivars that we've never seen. And I think that's a beautiful thing, man. What you said, have to stay humble. The thing that makes me excited to make good genetics is the good genetics that I've had. All of the breeders that I look up to and all of the seed banks I bought from that have been impressive pushes me to want to do something awesome. It's just being able to have the ability to do things that other people would see as notable gives me a lot of excitement, and I'm super happy to have the opportunity of the things I'm already doing, let alone things I'm going to be doing in the future. And it's all of the people that I looked up to and all of the people that I still idolize today that are just doing what they do, makes me excited to also do shit. And also, the variety is going to be absolutely insane. Once we are able to get to a point where we can have a regulated, normalized market where everything is going to be labeled exactly, precisely what it is, and be able to test those genetic lines to find out exactly what it's supposed to be called based on its genetic makeup. And maybe I'm being a little idealistic here, but I think it's a very real possibility that we could get to that point. I think it's going to make the growing game so much more amazing. I can't wait to see that purple Ferrari pushing out flowers. I've never heard of this cultivar before. This channel, you smoke a lot of stuff I've never heard of, and I only live a state away. I'm always getting cultivars you've never heard of as well. And I think that's the beauty of it. It is, we can be so close, but the world is such a big place. And since we're all connected by the network of the internet, I can order from people that you've never seen before just based on the fact that me looking up the beans to buy, beans for sale, is going to be very different from the results that you get because of all of the micro information that Google has on you, to where it might show you something that I will never see or won't see for 5 years because I'm not looking hard enough. Whereas for you, maybe it's the first thing that pops up. Or maybe you just randomly searched and saw a fucking Reddit post. I happen to not be logged in for weeks at a time, and you see this, get the access to find it, and then go off somewhere in nowhere town. But I'm getting a little bit off track here because we're supposed to be talking about the difference between THC and THC-A, baby. But yeah, no, variety is super awesome. I love being able to see new things. And Pigeons 420 was the first guy who grew some crazy stuff that I've never heard of. And before that, a lot of the cannabis content I've seen brought up a lot of just popular strains like Skunk, Northern Lights, Wedding Cake, things that I've heard of. And then, Pigeons 420 was dropping like Holland's Hope, and I've never heard of that one. And all kinds of stuff. And then Ocean Grown Genetics was a bank I've never heard of, or breeder I've never heard of. I mostly buy from Attitude Seed Bank and Seed Bazaar. I love them. They've always handled my money securely, and I got my seeds. That's awesome. I've never heard of Seed Bazaar. I think I've heard of Attitude Seed Bank before, but I don't think I've ever actually visited, unless we did it on the seed shopping stream. But I can't remember if we did. It's been so long. By the way, do you guys want to see another one of those? Because I kind of had fun with that. Just looking into different strains, talking with you guys, learning about different seed banks that I've never seen before, breeders that I've never heard of. It was really fun. I might actually drop another one of those this week just to have some more content. But I did want to make a video about this, and I kind of wanted to look into it a little more. And I think that I pretty much have my video figured out. And I think I know exactly what I'm going to do with it, as well as putting clips from the stream in here. But there's one thing we have not done, and that's to see. By the way, do any of you guys follow Goblin and seen like his only gas stuff? Seed Bazaar has Mosca, Dark Horse, and Night Owl seeds. I've never heard of any of those. Are those breeders or are those strains? Oh, those are the strains. Okay. No, I see what you're saying. Only Gas is the company Goblin runs, and he sells THC-A products. Hell yeah, we want to see another one of those, dude. That was tight last time. You had a whole bunch of user suggestions wrote down. You're goddamn right. I have them wrote down in this very notebook that I keep beside here. Let's see if I can find the So I got Creme de la Creme, which was an auto. I got Stoned Panda, which I still want to get. Honey Melon Haze, which I still want to get. Peanut Butter Breath. I didn't get the Grower's Choice version, which I have wrote down here. I got it from Thug Pug Genetics, but I have it in the fridge. Canuck Seeds, Alien Cookies crossed with Cushmints. Now, Cushmints I have smoked from the dispensary, and it's all right. But crossed with Alien Cookies, I've never smoked anything alien. The one alien genetic I got ended up being male, which I'm always still so fucking upset about. Citradelic Sunset from Ethos. Grape Diamonds R2 from Ethos. We got North Atlantic Seed Co., Citrus Farmer, and Florida Freeze. And then I also have them wrote down if they're regular or feminized, but here's some of those if you wanted to see some of those suggestions. I do, but I think Goblin is a liar, dude. There's no way he's done all that shit he talks about. I robbed the plug. Dude's not hard. I'm sure some of his stuff is made up for entertainment purposes, but I do believe a lot of his stories. I'm from Illinois too. It is like that down here. Shit's crazy, but he's way over exaggerating in his stories. That could just be how he talks and something like that. But I'm not here to throw shade or speculate on Goblin. He puts out good content. And when I was living in the rental house, I listened to his stories a lot and really binged his content. I don't see why all those big content creators mess with him. He seems like a cool dude. He just seems all right and fun to talk to. Sorry for that rant. I have opinions about Goblin, but I don't mind if anyone else likes him. Yeah, I mean, I like his content. But let's look at his only gas. I'm not gonna buy weed online. That's for fucking sure. I don't hate Goblin at all or anything like that, but I'm not gonna do this. THC-A wholesale. Over 100 strains stocked. Overnight shipping on all orders. Buy pounds of THC-A flower. Let's see what he's got for THCA flower. Where are the actual products? Goblin. Okay, THCA flower. Here we go, baby. Let's go. The gelato crossed with mimosa looks pretty dope. Thai iced tea, peppermint marker, alien ET, uh, guataro, kush, THCA snowballs. They got some greenhouse flower. You can buy the exotic THCA shake. 14 grams for $35. What the hell? I'm not gonna lie, man. Some of these fucking prices are busted. Well, we got Mango Dream THCA flower, 18% THCA, 3.5 grams for $28. Excuse me? Am I not brushed up on my prices right now? I'm gonna see how much an eighth is at my local dispensary. Have you ever seen those sprayed snowballs plugs sell? They're really controversial. I don't touch them. No, I make my own drugs or buy from a dispensary, which I know isn't much better, but when you're dealing with shit getting sprayed on your plants or something, don't. So we got Tropicana bananas, 3.5 grams for $21. So already saving $7. Key lime mints, 21.44. Guava bars number 5, 21.44. Vivid Farms Runts 3.5 for $17.15. Duct tape 17.15. Kush Crasher 21.41. So Jealousy 3.5 grams is the highest price we've seen yet. $25. But no, I haven't seen those. I haven't seen those from any plugs or anything because I don't deal with them. I don't deal with them. Animal Tree, 3.5 grams, 21.44. Jealousy, 3.5 grams, 17.15. Cadillac Rainbow, 25. Got some more 25s. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything over 25 for an eighth here. So, granted, you do have to pick this up yourself, but I'm not sure if you have to pay for shipping or not. Oh, here's one. Grape Fago, 3.5 grams for $30. But it's 23.81% THC. Funeral Cake, 3.5 grams, $30. So, no, there are some hefty ones. But they're few and far between. I only found 2. Our eighth at our dispose are like $55 for the real decent stuff. We only have a few brands that are really worth it as well. See, that shit sucks. I hate to see that. I don't think weed should really be any more than like maybe like $5 a gram. Like it does not really cost that much to make. And sure, when you factor in like the price of owning a business and keeping the lights on and the licenses you need for it just go pretty hard. But that's where it's a lot more worth it to be a craft small a small batch craft grower, and be more of a caregiver, or at least run a smaller market, because then you could sell it more of a premium because your weed's actually good. And then it would actually be worth a premium price rather than the mostly over dried, which could have to do with testing, I'm not sure, and low terpene and not as great like smoking experience in my opinion, to the dispos. I went to this local growers thing a couple of weeks ago, and in the city, and I saw those snowballs for the first time. They were sketchy looking. Yeah, Goblin, I kind of trust a little bit, just because he has more of a reputation, and I almost went to a meet and greet thing for him, but I ended up having to miss it for family stuff, which shit happens. But I'm sure I'll meet him at some point. We are in the same business after all. And even if we don't, oh well. They remind me of moon rocks with a layer of THC crystals on top, but I've heard nothing but bad about them. Actual THC crystals, like actual moon rocks, are fine. I made a couple myself. They're not going to hurt you. It's not that crazy, but when you get into risking doing things that are going to be dangerous, and smoking things you don't know, I told this story before, I think, but my friends that I used to be, well, not my friends anymore, but people I used to be friends with, they got some weed from work. I'm sure he is reputable. I'm just talking stuff about this I had seen. Thanks for clarifying that. I didn't doubt that. I was just kind of addressing the actual THC crystal like thing and talking about the differences, because it is important to do your homework. Just anyone out there, it is important to do your homework on what you're actually getting. Picking up where I left off, my friend, he got this stuff from work. He got like a joint or something, or a bag of bud, and when they actually smoked it, they realized it was a little different, but they thought it might have been just like a different kind of weed. It has a different effect. It ended up being laced with, I believe, crystal meth. So, don't want to fucking do that. I'm glad I wasn't there, because I 100% would have smoked crystal meth, because I would have thought it was weed or whatever it was. I can't remember. I can't remember precisely what the drug was, but it is something that I would never put in my body knowingly. That is for sure. I don't mess with any of that shit. I like alcohol sometimes, and I smoke a lot of weed. That's about it. But we've been going almost an hour. I think we touched on the topic pretty well. Is there any other points you guys wanted to have addressed, or any questions regarding cannabis related stuff? Other than that, I think I'll see you guys in the next video, and I think that we are going to be doing a seed shopping stream very soon. So thank you guys for joining. If you're new, hey, hit that subscribe button real quick. Make sure the bell is rung and all that jazz. You want to join in on any of these streams, and this one wasn't quite hitting it for you, definitely do that. I am here multiple times a week doing whatever the hell it is this is. But hey, that has been us talking about THC, THC-A, What are the difference? How do you get it? What does it do? I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much.